We are at the topic of LC oscillation. And if very brief, we have to mention LC oscillation is like SHM. This topic in case of normal SHM, what we have done in case of mass spring system, particle position is changing as a sine function of time, and its velocity also changing as sine function of time. Here, the quantity which changing as sine function of time is not position. What is changing is charge and current. So physical quantities have changed, but rest of the principles have remained constant. And so understanding of this topic requires understanding of SHM. And again, I think the some part, I'll just go to some part of SHM very quickly. SHM motion we can represent in three different ways. What are the three different ways we can represent SHM? It's a repetitive function. One way, this part I can represent in form of a graph. So if you draw an SHM, and if you draw a graph, at any value of t, I can find out what the value, what the position is. Okay. So one way is representing graph. Second way, I can represent in form of mathematical expression. And this mathematical expression, it has three elements. And we have to understand what those elements are. And you can relate it to the graph. This replaces amplitude. And amplitude is this, the amplitude here in the graph, we can relate it to. And there's value of omega. And omega is something from here to here. This is the time period t. So if I mark this by t, or I can take the from here to here, what is the time it has taken? It keeps repeating itself at the time interval of t. So this also you can figure out. And this whole term is called, and what is this phi here? This phi is dependent on what is the phase at time t is equal to 0. In this particular case, phase is 0. But we can understand this phase constant little better with third method. One is graph map, second is mathematical expression, and third one is called a phasor. So this is understanding of phasor is very important in understanding SHM and its application. See, this phasor is based on just, I'll have recap because I think many of you may not recall. Phasor is if this particle is undergoing SHM. If t value is known, I can find omega. If time period is known, both are related. Omega will be 2 pi by t. So similar way, if a particle undergoes uniform circular motion in a circle of radius equal to a, what is the radius of the circle? Same as amplitude. So if I draw a circle of radius a, and here the particle here, in this case, since we are taking this coordinate, if the particle start moving, in which sense? Typically we take starting from here anti-clockwise. If this particle start moving the angular velocity omega, is projection on y-axis or is y-coordinate, whichever we can say. So as it keeps moving, as the position will keep changing, and y-coordinate will always match with the position of particle undergoing SHM. And that's why I sent you a link also last time. You can see this, how does it vary. So if the particle goes SHM, if I can see its projection on y-axis, it will exactly match with SHM motion. So there's a third way to represent SHM motion is in form of a phasor. So if I connect this particle with the center of the circle, the length of this, this will become, length will become to amplitude. And in this case, when we have phasor here, the phasor rotates with same angular velocity. And we have to look at a time t is equal to 0, which direction? Anti-clockwise. In this particular case, see at particular time here, since if this is the phasor I have drawn at t is equal to 0. Because t is equal to 0, the y-coordinate of the phasor has to match with the y-coordinate at time t is equal to 0. So if this is the equation, what is the phase constant in this particular case? In this particular case, phase constant is 0. So I look at some more cases here. So very quickly we'll go through to whenever a graph is given, we should be able to draw a phasor. And second way, if phasor is known, we should be able to interpret the graph. So very quickly, let's look at this. Suppose we take this case here. Can we draw a phasor for this? So what has to happen? See, first thing when I look at it to draw a phasor, I need to look at what is the amplitude. So this is maximally this amplitude. And now the t is equal to 0 has shifted. So now t0 is not here. This is the t is equal to 0. So how do I draw a phasor? Can all of you visualize the phasor here? How should I draw the phasor? The phasor should be drawn something like this. From here, the phasor, this is the value of y at time t is equal to 0. So phasor, this particle which is undergoing circular motion or phasor, tip of the phasor, should also be at this point. But at this point, there are two positions possible. You notice here on the circle, there are two particular positions for which the y-coordinate is same. But in this case, y-coordinate is increasing, here y-coordinate is decreasing. So which is the right position? This is the right position. So if I connect this point here, that indicates my initial, this is my initial position of the phasor. This is at t is equal to 0. And t is equal to 0, if I mark this angle here, This indicates my phase constant. So what is the phase constant in this particular case? Phase constant in this particular case, this is equal to A by 2, this is A, so this is equal to 30 degree. So when I look at the figure, I should be able to relate into phase constant very easily. And let's look at this case as well. Can you easily spot what will be the phase constant? Phase constant, this angle phi, and typically angle phi we can represent within plus minus 180 degree. Okay, so can we, all of you can find out what is the phase constant here? So this also I can represent the form of phasor, and which direction the phasor rotates? Phasor rotates like this, and y coordinate of the phasor at any instance gives you the SHM quantity at that instance. It gives you instantaneous value of quantity which is varying as a sine function of time. So in this case also, if I have to draw phasor, the phasor also I think, yes, there are two possible points here. If I draw, these are the 2 points which are the same y coordinate as this point at t is equal to 0. So is this or this which is the correct one? So what I notice here, it is going downwards. So this point is moving upwards. This point is going downwards. Which is the correct one? This is the correct phasor. So if I draw, this is the phasor, this particular SHM equation curve I can represent by this phasor. So how would the phasor look like? Yeah, so you can draw the phasor. This or this, which was the correct one? This is not the correct one. In this case, phasor is rotating this fashion. It is from t, starting from t is equal to 0. This quantity will move towards the mean position, whereas this is moving away from the mean position. So this is not the correct one. This is the correct one. And here angle is 30 degrees. So this angle is 30 degree. So what is the value of phi I should write here? If this angle is 30, I always measure from here. So either this way up to 180 or this way. So what should the value of phi I should substitute here? That's the phase constant. Okay. Similar way, if I look at this, can you tell what is the phase constant? If I ask some of you, would you be able to tell what is the phase constant here? Can you spot what the value of phase constant is? Vrinda, can you tell me what is the phase constant in this case? Can we spot what is the phase constant? So there are 2 ways I can draw this line or this line. And first thing I think you can easily notice from here, what is this angle? If it is root 3 by 2, this angle becomes equal to 60 degree. Now question is, which one of the two is correct here? This is going up. So this one is moving along with the curve. This is going towards the mean position. This is going away from the mean position. Which one will match here? This is the correct one. Okay. So what is the phase angle? The phi is equal to minus 60 degree. And this phase, this is something understanding. If you understand phasor, the topic of SHM, which has application in 3 different chapters, becomes easy, including next topic, which is AC. So phasor, in this case also, can we draw the phasor? In this case, just compare this one and the previous one. Are they two same? No, they are not two same. The initial value is root 3 by 2a, root 3a by 2. But in one case, it is moving towards center, it is moving away from the center. So in this case, which is the correct one? This is the correct one. This one is going away from the mean position. That's what we should understand the phasor. And see, once we understand phasor, things become a little easier if we learn how to apply. Okay. Now, in terms of LC oscillation, their displacement is varying. Here, charge is drawn in blue color and current is drawn in the other orbital. So in this case, we have drawn what would this equation corresponds to. In this case, we have drawn when t is equal to 0, when the capacitor is fully charged and there's no current flowing through the inductor. So this also, if I have to draw a phasor for Q and I, can we draw the phasor for Q and I? What will the phasor look like for Q and I? For phasor for Q, this is at the maximum value. First of all, if this value is Q naught and this value is I naught. If I have to draw a phasor for Q naught, I will draw a phasor of length equal to Q naught, and initially it is at what angle? It is, this is initial phase angle is, phase constant is 90 degree. This is how the Q naught, this is my phasor at time t is equal to 0. Okay, so okay, so this is a phasor. And other thing what we notice here, I think some of you have little difficulty maybe. See, whenever we have a capacitor connected in a circuit, what does capacitor act as? Capacitor we can think of as a battery of varying EMF. As the charge changes, its potential keeps changing. So it is like a battery of varying EMF. So when charge is maximum, EMF is maximum. As the charge is reducing, what is happening? EMF is reducing. And what we have seen in case of batteries connected to resistance, as the EMF changes, since the current is directly proportional to EMF, in case of RC circuit, current also vary in the same proportion. But when it is connected to inductor, EMF is equal to L into di by dt. So as the EMF, as the charge is varying, or the EMF of capacitor is, EMF of capacitor is changing, it is affecting not the current, it is affecting rate at which the current is changing, di by dt. So here, when the charge is maximum, di by dt is maximum. When the charge becomes zero, di by dt becomes zero. So that's what you need to understand. The charge on the capacitor is proportional to rate of change of current, which could be increasing, which could be decreasing. So that's what something this graph indicates. The important point to understand in case of LC oscillation is charge on the capacitor. It affects the potential across the capacitor, and the potential is equal to L di by dt. So indirectly, what is charge is directly proportional to rate at which the current is changing in LC circuit, and that's why it comes to this shape. Okay, so suppose this shape is given, can we find out time period? Any curve is given, we can find out. How do we find out time period for LC oscillation? For LC oscillation, we have understood what the value of omega is. Moment LC is given, we can find out value of omega, which is 1 by root LC. So we can find out T. And we can find out omega, we can find out T. So it means if we can find omega, this phasor also will rotate in an anti-clockwise sense with angular velocity omega, and its y coordinate will give you instantaneous value of q. So what will value of q? If a moment I draw a phasor like this, so what will the value of q at different time? I can easily find it out if you understand basic concept of phasor. Let's see that. Let's quickly try and understand that part as well. Okay, so that's the thing. So this is a phasor I have drawn. So this is the so first of all, I had drawn a circle which has a radius equal to what? It is a radius equal to q naught. So phasor will lie, the center will lie at the center of the circle. Phasor, the tail will lie at the center circle, and which direction initially it is? Initially it is in this place. Now it will start rotating, and angular velocity is omega, and it will complete one full rotation in time period t, which means in time t by 12 it rotates by 30 degrees. So this is something. So what it has come to from here to start rotating. This is where it has come at time t by 12, and moment has come t by 12. At t by 12, it has moved from here. What is the y coordinate now? Since the radius is equal to q naught, this term becomes equal to root 3 q naught by 2. So at after t by 12, it becomes root 3 q naught by 2, and this is where this is in time t by 8. It will rotate by 45 degree. It has come to this point, and value will become q naught by root 2. Again, if we continue, in time t by 6, it will rotate by 60 degree. And time t it rotates 360. So t by 6, it will rotate by 60 degree. It has rotated by 60 degree. This angle has become 30. Now becomes q naught by 2. This is where the phasor will be. I can find out the value of charge easily. And this is the value. This is where it will be at t by 4. And so if this charge is q naught here, this charge at this point becomes equal to root 3 q naught by 2. And this charge becomes equal to q naught by root 2. And this one becomes equal to q naught by 2. And this charge here becomes 0. So if I look at energy here, what is energy in the capacitor? Here energy is capacitor is equal to q naught square by 2c. So energy is proportional to q naught square. And this 100% energy is here. And compared to total energy, what is the energy here? Any percentage of fractional energy is equal to q square by q naught square. This becomes equal to 0.75 times, 0.5 times, 0.25 times what we had discussed yesterday. So we can visualize in terms of phasor motion. Okay, is this under? Are you following, Pranam Soma?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah. So it sounds like no kind of thing. Okay. Yeah. Have you understood what does phasor mean?
Yeah, it's a projection of the
So basically, projection. Basically, what he understood how to draw the phase, how to understand phase constant, and how to draw the initial phasor, and they start rotating. And he can find rotation anytime instantaneous value by rotate by depending on the time rotate the phasor, and y coordinate of tip of the phasor will give the instantaneous value of physical quantity for which the phasor is drawn. Okay.
Yes.
Karthikeya?
Yes, sir.
Are you following so far? Phasor, have you understood bit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this will apply, and some all SSM question, majority of the SSM question can be better understood with the application of concept of phasor. And we have done in case of now coming to this question. Let's see by how do we go about solving this question. Okay, capacitor is charged to potential V0 connected to an inductor, and it's a typical LC circuit. Okay, so time t is equal to 0. What is the charge here? And the time it is fully charged. So this is the case. Okay, so this is a circuit here. This is a typical LC circuit. So can we draw a phasor for charge here? Karthikeya, can you tell me what will be the, see, so first of all, to draw a phasor, what has to be the radius of the circle on which I'll draw the phasor? Karthikeya?
The maximum value.
Maximum value. What is the maximum value in this particular case? Is charge to potential V0. So what will be the charge on capacitor? I'm drawing the phasor for, I'm trying to draw the phasor for charge. And a phasor for charge Q on the capacitor. So what is the maximum value of charge here? If it is charged to potential V0, it means what is maximum charge? C into V0. So Q0 is equal to, in this case, Q max or Q0 is equal to C V0. So that is radius is equal to Q0. Now I have to tell me where is the particle, where should the, what should be the orientation of phasor, or from this x-axis, what angle the initial phasor should make, Karthikeya? What angle should the phasor make? Whether should be phasor be like this, and what angle the phasor should be initial? What is initial value of charge here? At time t is equal to 0, do we know what the charge is, Karthikeya? What is the charge at time t is equal to 0?
0, sir.
Charge on capacitor is how much? Just look at this. Charge to potential V0 is connected to inductor, and switch is closed at t with t is equal to 0. So at t is equal to 0, what is the charge on the capacitor for which I am drawing the phasor? So can you tell me what is the charge at time t is equal to 0?
0.
No, it is charged to potential V0. How can it be 0? So just now I mentioned with charge means whether this one has a positive plate, this has charge plus CV0. So charge on the capacitor itself at time t is equal to 0, its maximum, it is equal to Q0. Karthikeya?
Yes, sir.
Charge is, this is the phasor. So what is the initial phase constant? If I have to write equation for Q, now my phase constant is 90 degree. I would have written as Q0 sine of omega t plus pi by 2. But if I don't write, I can visualize in terms of phasor. This is how the charge is. And it is moving with omega, or in terms of t also I can understand. Okay, what is t here? T is equal to 2, what will be time period here? T is equal to 2 pi by omega, if I understood time period. And what is omega equal to? What is omega in case of LC oscillation?
1 by root LC.
1 by root LC. So what is t equal to? T becomes equal to 2 pi root LC. This is time period. Okay, now I have understood this phasor and it is rotating based on t I can solve. Okay, now let's see when we can solve in terms of phasor. First question is, let's do one by one all parts. How do we find maximum current in the circuit? Let me ask somebody. All of you think, how do you find? Tell me what is the way to find maximum current in the circuit? Kirtana, can you find maximum current in the circuit? Kirtana? Yes, I think you raised your hand. So basically, you raised your hand and you can't speak. Okay, fine, leave it. Okay, Tejas, can you tell me how to find maximum current in the circuit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Maximum current flows in the circuit when the charge on the positive plate of capacitor becomes 0, right, sir?
Zero. Okay, so first thing what you said, current I is maximum when Q is 0.
So that means the total magnetic energy, the electrical energy is stored in the form as magnetic energy.
So basically, so 1 by 2 I can write when current is maximum, total energy is only in form of magnetic energy. It is equal to total energy, and initially entire energy was in form of
Electrical energy, Q square, not by 2C. Yes, sir.
So if I write this equation, I can always find value of I. So entire energy, because in the charge will become zero, it's possible for charge to become zero. That's the way you can find out maximum current. Potential across capacitor becomes zero after how much time? So suppose I want to find out after how much time. Initially at time t is equal to 0, the charge is maximum. That's what this phasor says. At time t is equal to 0, this is where the phasor is. And here this phasor indicate y coordinate is maximum, the charge is a maximum, as potential is maximum. What is the time it will take for potential across capacitor to become 0? It is equivalent to saying what is the time it will take for the charge to become 0. Can we find out how much time does it take for the charge to become 0? Pritham, can you tell me how much time it will take to find for charge to become 0? How do we find out time it takes for charge to become 0? In terms of capital T, can you tell me how much time it will take for charge to become 0? And in terms of phasor, where the phasor has to be for the charge to become 0? Pritham, how much, by what angle the phasor has to rotate for the charge to become 0? Kaushik?
Sir, pi by 2, sir.
Pi by 2. No, so basically it rotates from here. So y coordinate has to become 0. So it has, the phasor has to reach this point. As you start rotating from here, what is any? No, the y coordinates keep decreasing. And when the phasor reaches here, the charge y coordinate becomes 0. The charge has become 0. It has rotated by pi by 2. So if how much time it will take in terms of time period, it will take time t by 4. So basically, if I know value of t, time taken for potential to become 0 for the first time is equal to t by 4. I'll write the value that t will be equal to, I know the value of t, and I substitute the value of t, and t by 4 is equal to pi by 2 root LC. This option is not correct. Okay. What is the third option? So if a question is what is the energy stored in the inductor at time pi by 2 root LC? So can I find at this particular time, where is the phasor? What is this time equivalent to in terms of t? See, we know that t is 2 pi root LC. So this one is how much? Actually, this time is equal to, in terms of t, how much it is? T by 4. So this time is equal to t by 4. So at t by 4, what will happen? The charge becomes 0. So what will the energy stored in the inductor? When charge becomes 0, energy is stored in the, so basically again, at this instance, this instance is corresponding to t by 4. At this instance, phase angle of charge. What is the phase angle of charge here? Phase angle of charge is equal to, Q is equal to 180 degree, or Q is equal to 0. If Q is equal to 0, then if I write what is the energy stored in the capacitor plus energy stored in the inductor, at any time is equal to total energy, which is equal to Q naught square by 2C. And at this instance, since the phase angle is Q is equal to 0, entire energy in inductor, entire energy is stored in the inductor, which is equal to Q square by 2C, or it could be written as 1 by 2 CV naught square. So this option also is not correct. This is not correct. What is the maximum energy stored in the inductor? This is correct. So I hope all has understood. Shreya?
Yes, sir.
Gayatri?
Yes, sir.
Have you understood phasor?
Yes, sir.
And so suppose I ask you this question, Gayatri, see that can quickly answer. What does UL represent? I am representing UL as energy stored in the inductor at time t is equal to Can you tell me what is the energy stored in the inductor at this particular time, Gayatri? At this particular time, what is the energy stored in the inductor? So can you mark the position? Where would, at this time, where would this phasor, charge phasor will be on this? What is this time equivalent to? During this time interval, what is the angle by which the phasor will rotate? Shreya, by what angle will the phasor rotate during this time interval? This is the time. What is this time is equivalent to?
It's equivalent to T by 12. So
T
it
by
would
12. So how much angle it will rotate? See, starting from here, T by 12. So in T, it rotates 360 degree. T by 12, it rotates by 30 degree. So this phasor will come here. So charge has become from Q naught, it has become root 3.2. So at this point, what is the energy stored in the capacitor? Capacitor is 3/4 and inductor is 1/4. I can easily find. So what is the energy stored in the inductor? Energy stored in inductor is 1/4 of total energy. Gayatri, are you following this?
Yes, sir. Now I got it.
So I hope you understand this. Very easy to calculate here once you get a hang of this. And we need to understand this is the way to handle SHM better using phasor. Dhanshri,
Yes, sir.
are you following?
Yes, sir.
Phasor? Okay. Okay, so let's come to next one. This is a question given. So all of you just go through and see how do you answer this question. So Hemant, have you figured out what we have to do? Ashray, have you figured out how to solve this question quickly? Hemant, no answer?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What it is based on, tell me. What you have to see when you look at this question, for different value of charge, I need to find di by dt. So which equation do I have to use which relates charge to rate of change of current? What is the equation which relates charge to rate of change of current? It is based on Q by C, and we are talking only magnitude, L di by dt. That's what it is based on. And that's what in terms of word, what we mentioned, this potential across capacitor affects the rate of change of current. It could be increasing or decreasing. Both the things can happen. Potential across capacitor affects the rate of change. So this is a fairly simple question. Very easily it can be answered. So when the charge is maximum, rate of change of current is maximum, you can easily answer that part. Okay. So this fairly easy question, all can easily answer.
Yes.
Okay. So one Q's value, each value we can ask. And it is found that maximum value Q is 100 or 200. So fairly simple. So per value of I. And can you answer this question easily without putting pen to paper? If Q is 200, what is the value of I? When the charge is maximum, I is 0. So this option clearly is incorrect one. So that we should understand anyway. This 100 meter, when charge is maximum, current is 0. And this also is very easy question, part of assignment. If Q is 100, find the maximum value of current by equating energy. This we can easily obtain. Let's look at this question and try to analyze and see how to answer this question. In this question, this plate has positive charge at given instant. This has negative charge. This is the inductor, and current is flowing in this fashion. Okay. So if I ask this question here, what is happening to charge on the capacitor? Is the charge increasing, decreasing? What is happening to the charge? Bhagshri, what is happening to the charge on the capacitor? If we draw something like this, what does this indicate? Is the charge increasing or decreasing?
Decreasing.
Charge is decreasing. Can you justify? So your answer is correct. In this case, what is happening? The charge on capacitor is decreasing.
A current is flowing from the inductor, which means that the flux is like decreasing.
Okay, no, not that way. Even if you don't have to even see. Suppose inductor is not given also. Suppose I draw a circuit like this. If I draw something like this, I don't know what is there in between. And this is charge plus Q, and this is minus Q. If I draw current direction like this, what does this direction of current indicate? Direction of current indicates direction the positive charge flows. So this indicates, if I draw arrow like this, positive charge is being taken away from the plate. Charge is decreasing, and positive charge is getting added onto the negative charge. So something which has negative charge, suppose the charge is minus 50 microcoulomb. On this, if I add a charge of plus 2 microcoulomb, what will happen? Magnitude of charge is decreasing. So whenever I draw like this, you have to understand here, if a charge is positive, if arrow is like this, it means Q value is decreasing. You understand, magnitude of charge on the capacitor is decreasing. Similarly, if I had drawn something like this, If I draw something like this charge is plus Q, and this is the direction of current here. What does this indicate here? Plus charge is reaching the plate. This charge is plus charge is moving away from the plate. Charge will decrease. And it's better always to look at the positive plate. Because negative and negative positive becomes more confusing. So which plate I look at, though the current is given here, I can assume that the current here. So I will always look at positive. The positive increase decrease is easy to understand. So this is equivalent to charge being removed from the positive plate. So charge magnitude of charge will decrease. Okay, we are all concerned about the magnitude only. So in this case, charge on the capacitor is decreasing. I hope all of you understood. If I draw something like this, had I given a circuit like this, now this left plate has negative charge and right plate has positive charge, and current is given like this. Is the charge on capacitor increasing or decreasing? Can we answer this question? What is happening to charge on the capacitor? Is it increasing or decreasing? Dishart, is the charge increasing or decreasing? Charge on the capacitor. When we charge on the capacitor, we are actually interested in magnitude of charge. So what is happening? How do we find? Is the charge increasing or decreasing?
Magnitude is increasing.
So basically, first of all, I always go to the positive plate. If the charge is coming like this, if the current is going into like this, it means current is going out like this. It means charge from positive plate, charging moved away, charge is decreasing. Okay. So first thing, so we understood from here. So even though it is given here, I'll focus on the positive plate, charge being taken away. So it means charge is decreasing. So Q is decreasing. So these two options are gone. And moment Q is decreasing, I has to increase. So whenever this is LC circuit is always true. If Q is decreasing, magnitude of charge on the capacitor is decreasing, it necessarily implies I is, because the direction not certain, I is increasing, current magnitude is increasing. And what is the reason for this? If Q is decreasing, it implies energy stored in the capacitor is decreasing. If one form of energy is decreasing, other form must increase. If energy increase here, decrease in charge implies decrease in energy stored in the capacitor. It means energy stored in the inductor must increase, and energy in the inductor increases only when the current increases. Which option is true here? Q is decreasing and I is increasing. Okay. Nishita?
Yes, sir.
Are you following so far?
Yes, sir.
This is clearly understood. Why this will lead to this? The logical linkage between the two is clear. Q is
Yes,
decreasing.
sir.
Okay. Okay. Let's look at this question here. Frequency of oscillation. We need to find frequency of oscillation of current in the inductor. Is the frequency of oscillation of current any different from frequency of oscillation of charge in the, is this same or not same as frequency of oscillation of Q? Both are actually same. So same omega value is same for charge, it is same for current, both are same. So in this case, what we need to do, this circuit, we can reduce it to simpler by taking equivalent value. We can reduce it to equivalent LC circuit. So these two inductors are connected in series. So they are connected in series, it becomes equal to resistance formula, it becomes equal to 3L, and they are connected in parallel. So this becomes equal to 3C. So this circuit is equivalent to this. So what is the frequency? We know omega is equal to 1 by root LC. So this will be 3L into 3C, and you can easily form an answer. Okay, so this is something, and then you can find frequency. Okay, let's look at this question now. So all of you read this question, give a thought for a couple of minutes.
Like at t is equal to 0, definitely there is some phase constant in this. Yes, so we'll write the expression Q is equal to Q naught into sine of omega t plus 5.
Okay.
Yes, sir, and they gave the rate of decrease of charge, so that is nothing but current.
Yes. So decreasing at the rate. Okay. So current value is given. So do we need to read? Okay, here you starting from here. So all of you understood. This is something. So this particular state, so far what we had done with, most cases at a particular instance, either Q was 0 or I was 0. Now in this case, both form of energy is present. Both form of energy is present. If I have to find maximum charge, without writing this expression also, can I write in terms of energy, can I find the maximum charge, Vignesh? Can we write at this time t is equal to 0? What is the total energy at time t is equal to 0? Can I write the total energy?
Yes, sir. We can like half I square L plus Q square by 2C.
So total energy at t is equal to 0. I can write because I need all the things which are necessary are given or not. So total energy can be written as energy stored in the capacitor plus energy stored in the inductor, which will be equal to Q square by 2C plus 1 by 2 Li square. And I value is given, C value is given, but say Q, C, I all are given. So once I have this one, if I have to find the maximum charge on the capacitor, when the charge is maximum, the entire energy is in form of this equation. So this equation will give you the maximum charge. So all can follow, all can easily find an answer. So this will give you maximum charge. And once we have the maximum charge, how do we find in terms of time t is equal to 0, decreasing in rate? What will the maximum? So can we represent in terms of phasor also what is happening here? So when we have to represent charge as a phasor, I will draw the radius of circle as equal to maximum charge, Qm. But initially the charge is not maximum. Let's suppose this is 6 option is correct. So this something radius will be equal to 6 coulomb. And at a particular instance, charge is decreasing. So the charge is something like this. I can take it like this. This is the initial. I can take this also as a phasor. Why taking this and this coordinate instantaneous value? So this is 6 coulomb and this will be equal to instantaneous 4 coulomb. So now I can answer, and it is rotating with time period. So all of you can Pranav Ganga?
Yes, sir.
Can you solve this question easily?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Okay. So this also can, all of you should do that yourself. Okay, look at one more variety of questions. So far what we have done, there was only one capacitor. When you look at this question is slightly different. 2 capacitors and 1 inductor are connected as shown in the circuit. And one capacitor is charged. So this is a charge CV. So in this charge, you can say the Q naught. You can write Q naught is equal to CV. And this is the time t is equal to 0. So it may have not shown the switch. Let's say there's a switch and this is closed at t is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0, one capacitor had a charge of plus CV minus CV. One capacitor was charged to potential V. So charge was plus CV minus CV. This is 0 charge, the current was 0. So this is a circuit, it is closed at t is equal to 0. Find the maximum current in the inductor and what is the charge on 2 capacitors at the instance when the current is maximum. How do you find the maximum current in this particular case? How do you find? So far what we used to find maximum current, every time what we used to do, maximum current, we used to calculate our method of calculation when maximum current, when current is maximum, used to correspond to the state when charge on capacitor was 0. That's what we used to do. Charge on capacitors 0. So capacitors will have no energy. So entire UC was 0. So total energy will be equal to total energy we used to equate to 1 by 2 Li max square. Can I follow the same method here or not? Actually, you cannot follow same method. So can someone point out why can't I apply this condition here in this particular case? So this is the method, and I hope you all have understood method. Initially, if I calculate total energy, there are 3 elements here. Out of 3 elements, entire energy only 1 element. So as far as total energy of LC oscillation is concerned, total energy is equal to total energy at time t is equal to 0. There's no current. This has no energy. This capacitor is not charged. It has no energy. This is charged to potential V. So I could have written total energy stored is equal to 1 by 2 C V naught square, or in terms of Q of V. But can I apply this condition here that can I equate this quantity to 1 by 2 Li max square or not? And I'm telling you it is not. Can you someone give me a reason why not? Why can't we apply this case here? So far used to take condition corresponding to maximum current is when the energy in capacitor was minimum, and that minimum energy we used to take when the charge was 0. So can we tell a reason why can't we apply this condition here? Anyone?
So here minimum energy will be when charge is Q by 2.
Very good. Very good. So
And
tell
one
me
is
why.
decreasing
Your
and
answer
one
is
is
correct.
increasing.
Right, but can you explain better? So why the charge cannot drop to 0 here? See, basically what you're saying here, the energy becomes minimum when the charge on capacitor should be 0. 0 means it should be 0 on both the capacitor. Can the charge on both the capacitors become 0? Can the charge on both capacitors become 0? Why can't it become 0?
Charge from one capacitor will go to the other.
Still, I think your answer is correct, but can you explain better?
Charge
So,
of one
if you take
capacitor
two
is
plates-
increasing, one is decreasing, sir.
no, okay. So more or less you're coming. I think, but Vignesh, you were saying something?
So like we can take the two plates of the capacitor which are isolated.
Isolated. So one way of understanding, I think your logic also, I'm not saying it is incorrect, Virup, but what we need here, this two plates, the charge will not drop to 0. Okay, if I take these two as isolated plates, the sum of the charge in two plates will always remain constant. Since initially the charge here was equal to minus CV, so at any stage, sum of the charge on these two plates has to remain equal to minus CV. It cannot become, can this and this both simultaneously become 0? No, that defies your conservation of charge. So this is an isolated system. So sum of the charge on both the capacitors cannot become 0 simultaneously. Other logic, what they were saying here, whatever is reduction in charge, that's the addition. So both the things it has to balance out, which also is indirectly conservation of charge. Okay, so I don't know. So the charge cannot become 0. So what you are saying here, so what will, so in this case, what we understood, unlike previous cases, UC or energy stored in the capacitor will not drop to 0. Energy stored in two capacitors, because we are taking total energy stored in the capacitors, will not become 0. So, but it will, see, so I can't equate to 0 value. So what is the equation I should form? So when would the current be maximum? Still, current will be maximum. Current maximum implies when the current is maximum, basically energy stored in the inductor is maximum. And this will happen when energy stored in the capacitor is minimum. It may not become 0, but still maximum current will correspond to condition when the energy stored in capacitor is minimum. And what is the charge it has? So this is one way of solving would be, I think this case was very intuitive, Q by 2. If I am not sure, okay, what I can do here, let me say, let me take a state where the charge on this plate is plus Q. If the charge on this plate is plus Q, this charge will be equal to minus Q. And the charge on this plate will become, because since the total charge has to be equal to minus CV, it will become minus CV minus Q. So what we'll do here, in this case, as the value of Q changes, energy stored in the capacitor is changing. So I can write energy stored in the two capacitors put together as a function of Q. And energy stored is maximum, but du by dq is equal to 0. So what you write at total energy in the capacitor will be equal to what? Q square by 2C. So first capacitor is Q square by 2C. And second capacitor, since we are squaring it, negative sign won't matter. It will be charge on the second capacitor. The square of the charge divided by twice the capacitance. This is the energy stored when the charge is Q. This is UC. So when current is maximum, UC has to be minimum. So DUC, energy in capacitor, dq has to be equal to 0. And I differentiate, I find the value of Q comes equal to CV by 2. So how do I write this equation now? What is the maximum charge I will write here? The maximum charge, I'll write the equation as something like this. So when the charge is maximum, we'll write something like this. So energy at t is equal to 0 is how much? We are already written 1 by 2 CV naught square, and that will be equal to 1 by 2 LIM square, and plus, when this maximum energy has to be minimum, plus I'll write this UC substituting Q as equal to CV naught by T. UC for Q equal to CV naught by 2. Okay, so how many have understood this method? Is that logic clear to everyone? Anvita, have you followed what you have done?
Yes, sir.
Can you solve this one now? If I give a similar question, would you be able to solve?
Yes,
Just go
sir.
through. See, all the steps are clear. See what we used to do. See, in this case, every time you're using the concept, basically you're using the principle, total energy remains constant. So previous cases, we used to take energy stored in the capacitor to be 0 because the charge can drop to 0. In this case, when the two capacitors are connected, we cannot equate to, see, when we write this term here, this term energy is stored in the capacitor corresponding to the case when current is maximum will not be 0. The reason is not 0 because the two plates here, conservation charge we apply, it will not, so we have to, it will not drop to 0. The charge will have a certain value of charge, energy stored becomes minimum. That's what we need to find. A similar question like something like this. Can you all try and solve this question as well? Just a silver. So we have changed the question here. So one capacitor has charge CV. So there are two, one is charged to potential V. Okay. And other is charged to potential 2V. So one is C, other is 2C. Now this becomes a little more tricky. Earlier it was directly Q by 2. Intuitively you could have done. And let's try and solve in this case. How would you form the equation and how do you solve it? So give a couple of minutes. All of you try and solve now. Same method what we had done in the previous case. Find the maximum current as well as charge on two capacitors at that instance. Nitya,
Yes, sir.
have you understood this also?
Yes, sir, I understood.
And so if I tell you, how should I distribute this charge so that VAB is 0? Can you do it very quickly? What should be the charge on the these two plates? What should be charged on this two plate? Given this initial charge was like this, so that VAB is 0. Can you do that more quickly? Can you find the charge distribution using mental calculation? Try and do that. Can we do that? See, have you understood? But the charge distribution, the potential across this capacitor, charge distribution should be such. Potential across C should be equal to potential across 2C. And charge should be such that this sum of charge here plus here should be equal to how much the charge on these two plates put together has to be 3CV. So 3CV charge I have to distribute in such a fashion the potential becomes equal. What should be the distribution of charge 3CV? Which should have more charge so that potential becomes 0? Nitya?
C should have more.
C should have more charge. Potential is Q by C.
No.
So I have to, what is the net charge here? If I take both the plates put together, what is the net charge here? This is charge is minus CV. So these two isolated plates should have charge of plus 3 CV. The final distribution also, I need to distribute this charge of plus 3 CV to these two plates in such a fashion that potential across them becomes equal and opposite. So if they are given same charge, if both are positive, potential becomes opposite in sign. So does it not make sense? This charge here, potential is Q by C. So this should get more charge for same potential. This should get more charge and this should get less charge. Suppose this is plus 2 CV and this is plus CV. Does it meet this condition? Ashray?
Yes, sir.
Have you followed what this?
Yes, sir.
Does it meet that condition? That potential
Yes,
from
sir.
A to B. Okay. So you understand both the plates, since they are played together, they should have same sign of charge. The same sign of charge, how should I distribute? I distribute the charge in the same proportion as capacitors. And then I can find this value. And I can follow the longer method also. Jaideep? Okay, the rest of you can we solve this question completely? So again, if we don't know any of this, what is the method we have followed? We can use again similar to what we had done last time. Okay, let the charge on B, this is Q. So this become minus Q. The total, if we take this as isolated system, the charge on the isolated system, the total charge on these two plates put together, this is minus CV. So total charge has to remain plus 3 CV. If this charge is minus Q, okay, this is taken plus Q and minus Q. So this has to become plus 3 CV plus Q. Okay. So in this case, what we need to do, we need to find the energy on capacitors for this charge distribution. So energy in capacitors of this charge distribution will equal to Q square by 2C plus and then say duc by dq is equal to 0. And this will give you value of Q equal to minus CV. So how do you find maximum current? For maximum current, total energy at T is equal to 0. We equate it to total energy when Q is such that energy stored in capacitor is minimum. So somebody has solved maximum value of current. Did anyone find? Akash?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, are you following Akash clearly, or is there some difficulty here?
I got cut off in the middle, sir, but I'll do it, sir.
But have I understood or not? But
Yes, sir.
Bhavishri?
Yes, sir.
Can you solve it?
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty anywhere? But all the steps are clear?
Yes, sir. I understood this one, but I'm not sure so sure about the voltage one, sir.
Voltage one, you're not sure? Okay, voltage one. So, okay, let's suppose this something, the voltage one, what we said here. Okay, so when the current is maximum, now when current is maximum, so at a particular, for some value of T, at some value of T. And at certain instance of time, current is maximum. At that instance of time, what has to be value of dA by dt, Abhagishri?
0.
0. If dA by dt is 0, what will be the EMF across the inductor? Which is equal to L dA by dt. So what has to be the EMF across these 2 points? 0. Which has to be same EMF across capacitors put together. Have you followed this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this is something, so very far. So other way of solving, one way is using differentiation. Second way of solving the question would be, I can distribute the charge in such a way that potential difference across the two capacitors are equal and opposite. So when for the distribution of charge, the total charge I have to distribute 3 CV. And when I distribute CVCV, both charges should be positive and positive. So one plate left side positive, other place right side positive. It will create potential in the opposite sense. So very quick way of solving this 3 CV charge, I need to distribute in 2 plates, left plate and right plate, so that their potentials are equal. Potentials are proportional to Q by C. So I have to distribute the charge in which proportion? Same proportion as C proportion. So I have to distribute the charge 3 CV in proportion of 1:2. What is the charge distribution which is in the proportion of 1:2? It is CV plus CV here and
2CV.
plus 2CV here. That's the distribution, and then we can easily calculate. So then I have initial energy stored in the capacitor. I have final energy stored in the capacitor. Difference will be the energy stored in the inductor, maximum energy stored in the inductor. That's the method. Okay, so I'll stop here and see everyone. See this today, I don't have work session, but in case today also and tomorrow we have exam. So I will be available from 3 to 4. So I will log into my Zoom account from 3 to 4. So those who have a doubt can sign in at 3. Okay. So it's optional, but all those who have any whatever topic we have covered so far, whatever is their syllabus for Monday for tomorrow. So any doubt and all, you can do that. You can clarify the same.
Sir?
Yes.
So we're not supposed to like do the non-ideal case of LC oscillations, right, sir?
We are supposed to do. That is called damped oscillation. That we'll do on Monday because this they're not included in the syllabus this week. Many other centers are there, so we'll do that part also. Okay. I think the question what he raised was a very good question. Ahlad also raised yesterday. Why is the energy not getting dissipated? Yes, it does get dissipated. And something, see, many things we start with ideal scenario. When we say, see, spring mass system. The spring mass system also we say energy is conserved. But is there a possibility that friction is zero? But we take the friction is very smooth, friction is negligible. Then how the oscillation will take place? And then we take what happens, the friction starts acting. So what happens then, the what you call the damping forces starts acting. Then we start losing its energy. It start losing its energies, amplitude changes. Amplitudes keep decreasing with time. You recall how the amplitude changes in case of damped oscillation? The amplitude also, the oscillation becomes something like this. It keeps. So amplitude of oscillations decays as an exponential function. Now, because of loss of energy, as the loss energy keeps decreasing, the amplitude keeps decreasing, and that is so there's a change in amplitude, and omega also gets affected. If the friction is affecting, if you have to travel from here to here, earlier there's no friction. So we can move like this. Now, if because of resisting force, there's a force which is acting opposite to direction of velocity, we will slow it down. If it slows it down, time period also will change. So that is part of damped oscillation, what we had in case of SHM. So it's a good thing. We will do it for LC oscillation. It's a kind of revision for damped oscillation in spring mass and even any other form of SHM oscillation. Okay, so yes.
If the force was constant, then the frequency wouldn't change, right? So, but here it's proportional to the velocity.
Force is constant, you change the mean position. Because for your force is proportional to velocity. So when you write the equation also, equations take a different shape.
Yes, sir.
And basically, yes, you can look at that. See, some of the things, see what you can intuitively visualize. If a normal oscillation, no loss of energy, it can come back to the same position. But what you understand here, if there's a dissipation of energy, it cannot come back to the same position. That much we can figure out. So it will come to a shorter distance. So that we can figure out, yes. But what kind of shape it will have, that intuitively we cannot figure out. That has to come from mathematical expression. So one, intuitively what you can figure out, energy will keep decreasing, hence the amplitude also keep dropping. Because energy is proportional to square of amplitude. So this will keep changing. And then we also think of a time period also will not remain same. So previous case, when the spring was connected, it was only spring force was acting. Now, in addition to spring force, another force which is opposing the direction of velocity. So which is, so anything which is trying to slow it down, it means time period also will change. So those are two things we can figure out based on common sense, intuitive understanding, but actual mathematical expression comes from differential equation and its solution. Okay, so let's stop here. So anybody has any query, again, we can catch up at 3. So between 3 to 4, I would just sign in. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.